You got a first-year coach, takes a transition for them to kind of form their identity, and I think they're in the process of doing that. But some things that are obvious is they're a fast, up-tempo team. They're very, very dangerous in the break. You don't want to get into a fast break kind of game with them. Number two, they're committed to rebounding the ball. They've done a great job rebounding on both ends of the floor. And they got some real weapons on offensive rebounding. And I think they're a well-coached team. They best players get the majority of the shots, and they've got a philosophy on defense. They change up the defenses. So I don't know Coach, but I have a lot of respect for him. Obviously, everything he's done in basketball. It looks to me like he's in the early stages of building something special in Memphis.
It's just overall with the rebounding factor, I guess, how nice is it? And obviously you already have confidence in Norrance and everyone, but just to know that he's playing at such a high level, kind of ending possessions on the defensive end for y'all.
Yeah, I never get tired of talking about Norrance. To me, he's one of the best players that's ever played at this school. He's a tough guy. Obviously, physically, he's tough, but mentally, to overcome a lot of the adversity he's overcome, a coaching change, 2 injuries, a change in roles over the years. And then the other thing that goes without saying, I think we spend so much time talking about Norrance and how tough he is. I mean, he's also one of our best players. This is a guy that can play all over the floor. He can guard different people. He's a really good rebounder. I'm so proud of him last game, hitting those 2 face-up jump shots. I mean, Norrance can shoot, and if teams choose not to guard him out there like the last opponent did, he'll make them pay. So Norrance is a really good player.
I know I kind of asked you about him before, but everyone kind of saw how good Deshaun was, obviously getting a career high the last time. I guess what have you seen from him that's allowed him to either get more points or just kind of really kind of find his rhythm?
Yeah, we always knew Deshaun was very talented. This was a legitimate top 100 recruit when he was in high school and played for Boo Williams and did a great job for Steve Green at South Plains last year, really led them the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season all the way to a national championship. What I've been really pleased is his consistency. A lot of times transfers takes a while to kind of get used to playing at this level. And although it's really early, Deshaun has shown great consistency at this point. He's a guy that I'm starting to really trust. You know what you're going to get when you put him in the game. He's been a low mistake player to this point, and he really fills up the stat sheet. So I think he's got a chance to continue his role in this year's team. And certainly to think about him having 3 years of eligibility left, you know, he could be special.
I know you've talked about defense being your identity. Obviously, this is a new team, new players and all that, but what's just made you all so successful on that end?
Well, I think you got to give our players all the credit. They're the guys that buy into it and want to guard and understand that's what we're about. And so we've had good players. We've had athletes like, you know, Z and Zach. We've had, you know, tough physical athletes like Norrance. Tariq adds something special to our defense. Our guards have been committed, starting with our best players, you know, whether it's Keenan Evans bought into playing defense. I think Jarrett Culver is one of the best defensive players in the Big 12. So I think you got to give our players all the credit for our defense.
It might be hard to tell because you've won all these games by at least like 15 points for these first 6, but what do you think you guys need to work on?
Oh, just consistency, everything. You know, college basketball hasn't really shaped out yet. These early season records and rankings and this stuff's good for the sport because it brings attention to it. But those of us that are in this understand nothing's really shaped out. You've got to play a certain amount of games. You got to go on the road. You got to play good opponents, different styles. And then, you know, right around Christmas time, you start having an idea. Then certainly when everybody starts conference, you learn a lot about your team. So we're no different. We've shown the ability to be good on both ends of the floor. We've shown a roster that has talent, but we got to get a lot more consistent. You know, I'm always striving for the 40 minutes. To this point, I think we've only probably gotten 28 minutes of good play in 40-minute games, and in my personal opinion, we're going to have to play, you know, a full 40 to beat Memphis.
And going back to Jarrett, you said he might be one of the best defensive players in the Big 12. How has he evolved this season compared to last? Because you had high praise for him coming into the season.
It's just like Norton said. First of all, with Culver, the games are just one part of it. You know, it's what he does every day. It's how he's treating his body. He's continued to gain weight since we got him. You know, I think he'll play in the NBA one day at probably 215 or so. He's right around 200 right now, and we got him. He's 170, so he's improving that. He's always been disciplined off the floor in terms of making smart decisions and the way he lives, but he's also becoming very disciplined in terms of, you know, he handles his social media well. He gets a good night's sleep at night. I mean, he's a real professional, then he works. He's in here every single day, and not just playing, horse. He's in here working at his game, whether it be his skill level, his passing, and he's a student of the game too. He's always in the film room. And I think Culver gets a lot of attention. He deserves it, but I promise you, every guy on this team is putting in the same amount of time. So we could easily be up here talking about Morrow or Kyler or Tariq. It's just that Culver gets a lot of attention, which he deserves. But trust me, this is a lot more than just one guy executing a process. We have 14 players right now that are as committed as you can be, and that's why we like our chances.
Coach, well, you guys have gone on the road for a tournament. You've played some neutral site games and everything, and you don't have a super young team by any means, but whenever you're taking on a team the caliber of Memphis and you're going to not play them at home, are there multiple factors that you look at whenever you're game planning for that game or you're getting the team ready?
Yeah, we talk to our guys openly about everything. When you play at home, there's a certain responsibility to protect your home court, and there's a way to go about that. When you play on the road, there's certainly a way to address that. One of many examples would be you got to control runs on the road. And then these neutral site games, it's a lot like an NCAA tournament type game or a Big 12 type game. I've always thought that you've got to manufacture your own energy. This has been the story of my career. I mean, I'm used to coaching places where there's 5 people at the game sometimes. I thought the crowd's a great thing, but it should never impact how you play or your own energy. So we tell the guys all the time, you got to play for the guy next to you. The people in the stands are just a blessing. But that should have nothing to do with your intensity, your focus, your energy. All those are excuses. Excuses get you beat. So this neutral site game, I would think that Memphis will probably have a great crowd just knowing that Penny played at Orlando, and there's a lot of people that follow him for everything he done in basketball. And I would hope that we have some Red Raider people at the game, but obviously it's a long ways from Lubbock, so we'll see.
A lot of people talk about the Red Raider family, how everyone is there for each other. And when I was curious if you've had a chance to talk to Coach Kingsbury, if you've talked to him about anything, or if you've been in contact.
Yeah, I'd rather keep that personal, but I will say that, it's well documented what Cliff did for this school and the program, and I mean it's just a matter of time. I mean, he's going to land here real quickly, probably quicker than sooner, and somebody's going to be scoring 50 points a game, competing for championships, and it'll either be an NFL quarterback about to be a all-pro, or it'll be a college guy about to be an NFL first-round pick. We've seen it firsthand here. So I got a lot going on right now trying to figure out how to score a basket against Memphis and how to get, Brandon to go to class. But he's actually been doing a great job on that class attendance. I want to recognize that. Brandon's been doing really good. But back to Cliff, I just excited to kind of see where his personal journey goes, because I predict success.
Our biggest thing is stopping them in transition, stopping those easy baskets that they get, controlling the boards. They do a great job of crashing offensive boards, and just total defense. So,
I guess just with the rebounding portion, I guess what's the importance of that, especially with the way you guys kind of obviously emphasize kind of ending defensive or possessions on the defensive end?
Really boxing out, getting our man out there and securing the rebounds. Offensively and defensively, especially offensive rebounds, they get to the offensive glass pretty well, so that's going to be a major emphasis for us.
I guess how have you kind of seen yourself kind of improve so far? I know it's a little bit early, but I guess how do you kind of feel you've kind of inserted yourself to this team?
I think I'm coming along pretty well. Still got things that I need to work on in my overall game, but I think it's coming along well, especially with the help of my teammates. Just talking to them and this coaching staff. So
Norris, I know I've asked you this earlier, but I guess just what's it like just to be healthy and be able to kind of just play your game?
That's a blessing. Every day is a blessing. You just wake up ready to get better. You never get too high, never get too low. Just steady and stay with the process. But I've been excited to play this year.
I know a lot of people have asked about Jarrett, but I guess what have you kind of seen from Kyler and some of the other guys that have kind of stepped up and kind of gotten themselves kind of in the offensive groove?
They're selfless. They're all hungry, ready to play for our team, ready to just give whatever they have. No matter what minutes they play, they just stay ready to play. They compete every day in practice, and they stay true to the process, so it's working out for them.
Tariq, going off kind of what Carlos said, I know you said you still have a couple things to work on, but how much does it feel like things are really coming together after a couple of those really good performances in the Hall of Fame Classic?
I feel like it's coming together well. Like I said before, my teammates helped me out a lot. Still learning, watch a lot of film with this coaching staff, with our GAs, put in a lot of work. So it's all coming together, starting to slow down a little bit for me, being in a new system and all.
And then for Norrance, Jared, there was a lot of excitement for him to make that leap this year. And how much of a leadership role do you think he's taken from last year compared to this year?
He's taking a big step. As a freshman coming in, he did a great job, him and Zaire as well. So this year, he works hard. The guys follow how he works. They see it from example, and it just feeds off of our team. He sparks us in that way. So guys want to get in the gym because Jared is always in the gym.
Tariq, you guys have already obviously been on the road some and gotten to experience home games well, but against a good team like Memphis, when you're not going to be at home, what do you really want to see out of this team and yourself specifically?
The biggest thing is just us sticking together. Road games can be difficult. And so just everybody sticking together, coming out with energy, everybody playing together, can't afford to come out flat. We just all need to be there for our brothers banding together.